away to impede.
Wonderful. Greatest clapback. Team in the Southland Conference, and after 4 wins in 4 home games to open the 2017-2018 season, Nicholls back at home tonight. They've got Texas A&M Corpus Christi before an 8-day layoff. Colonels have a bye this upcoming weekend. They're at Lamar on January 24th. Big opportunity to improve to 6-1 in the Southland, to beat Corpus Christi for the second straight season at home, and maybe get some separation from the University of New Orleans. New Orleans is tied with Nicholls with a 5-1 mark atop the Southland Conference, but this is the only game in town, the only game in the Southland Conference on a Tuesday night in mid-January. Campus is closed. We've got some snow in the forecast. Hey, stay warm with us. Colonel basketball at Stouffer Gymnasium against Texas A&M Corpus Christi tonight. We'll hear from Richie Riley, second-year head coach of the Colonels, is up next on ESPN Radio New Orleans. Christi tonight. Before we give you the starting lineups, let's check in with assistant coach Austin Klont, second-year coach of the Colonels, one of Richie Riley's top assistants. He has your scouting report for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Colonels have made the most out of, and to be in position for a 5-0 start in Southland Conference play, home games. You've got 2 weeks before Nicholls will be back in this building, 11 days until the Colonels will get to host another Southland Conference team at home. This will actually be the last time that we get to enjoy the old school Colonel Court, Ricky Broussard's court. It will be installed during the next 11 days, and when Southeastern shows up in Thibodaux on January 27th, you will have a brand new look on this Colonel basketball court. The team that Colonels will put on the floor tonight, they are hoping that the success you have seen over the last 2 weeks is contagious for the rest of the year. Colonels are 11-8 on the season. They're 5-1 in Southland Conference play. A&M Corpus Christi 4-11 on the year, 1-4 in the Southland. This team has averaged over 20 wins per game the last 4 seasons. Willis Wilson, in his 7th year with Texas A&M Corpus Christi, he's 103 and 108 at A&M-CC, 16 years head coach at Rice. We're underway tonight, and the Colonels win the tip. Nicholls in their home white uniforms, Nicholls in red with the black outline across the front of the Adidas jerseys. Islanders in their road blue, green trim on the side of the jerseys and the trunks. Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the front of the blue jerseys. Raji Lyons from the left block to the right corner, but he overshoots Kimani Jackson on the pass. Turnover number 1 for Nicholls. Corpus Christi will start Joseph Kilgore, Kareem South, Elijah Schmidt, Sean Ray, and Colin Hale. It's Tavon Sadler, Javon Powell, Raji Lyons, Kevin Johnson, and Kimani Jackson for the Colonels. After a close loss in New Orleans on Saturday night, Corpus Christi gets an early three-pointer from Joseph Kilgore. He buries it from the left corner. Nobody shoots or makes less threes in the country than A&M Corpus Christi. Kilgore hits his first shot of the night. Islanders on top 3-zip. Raji Lyons had 13 points and 9 rebounds on Saturday. He almost loses the ball. Ray tried to take it away. Colonels in possession with the clock at 9. Right lane drive and a pass from Sadler to Powell. Left corner 3 is in. And Javon Powell spots and starts with a deep 3 to start the game. We're tied at 3. Kilgore anticipating the trap at midcourt, eludes to the left sideline. Colin Hale will be the point guard for the first few minutes in this game for Corpus Christi. We'll see how long he stays in. Kareem South on the reverse, a right wing 3. It's off the back rim and knocked out of bounds by Elijah Schmidt. Colonel possession with 18:33 to play, and the game is tied at 3. Corpus Christi is averaging 65 points per game. They're last in Division I in three-point attempts. They're 333 out of 351 teams in scoring offense. Colonel's still averaging just under 90 points per game. They've got it to Kimani Jackson on the left block, but Kareem South traps, steals, and forces the turnover. Kimani Jackson ill-prepared for the trap. Turnover number 2 in the first 2 minutes. And Coach Riley turning to the bench and telling them, hey, we can't be soft tonight. Colonel spent 30 minutes on Saturday trailing Central Arkansas before they finally were able to take the lead late in half number 2, pulled away, won by 7. They were hoping to flip the script a little bit tonight, get out to an early lead. Kareem South, wing to the left, screened by Schmidt, won't use it, heads right, left-handed floater off the right of the rim. Raji Lyons, rebound number 1, but Ray takes it away underneath and he's fouled. Sean Ray, true freshman, went to Porter High School in Porter, Texas, right outside of Houston. He and his twin brother led Porter High School to their first ever postseason appearance. And these two are about to torment the Southland Conference for the next 4 years. We'll get to know Sean Ray first, but he will miss free throw attempt number 1. Sean and Dion Ray are both lefties. They're both 6'7", 225, 6'7", 230. Sean's listed at 230, Dion at 225. And after scoring 13 points and 10 rebounds in the loss against UNO, Ray goes 1 for 2 from the line. He makes the second, 4-3 Islanders. Javon Powell drilled an early 3 for Nicholls, but a couple early turnovers for the Colonels. They'll ISO Tavon Sadler, give him a right block post up. He's doubled, wraps the pass left baseline for a floater that falls by Kevin Johnson. True freshman did not have a field goal in Saturday's win. He and Javon Powell have teamed up for 5 points. Colonels lead at 5-4. Colin Hale has made 5 starts at point guard for A&M Corpus Christi this year. He slips the pass right baseline for a deep 18-footer. Ray misses it. Back tapped out by Schmidt. New shot clock for Corpus Christi, and Kilgore quickly offers a left wing 3. It's short. Ray, another rebound, but he misses the putback, and Lyons finally comes away with it for the Colonels. To Kevin Johnson at midcourt. He finds a slashing Powell for a right block layup. Javon Powell, 5 of the first 7 points for Nicholls. 7-4, Colonels on top. Kilgore shakes past the trap, free throw line, picks his dribble up. Schmidt had to assist Kilgore in the right short corner, but the offense is lacking for Corpus Christi, and South gets stripped, taken away by Powell. To Sadler, who cuts and has a shot blocked by Joseph Kilgore. 3rd block in the last 2 games for the shooting guard. Kilgore comes away with it. Corpus Christi in possession, down by 3. Trap right baseline to the right lane. Great give by Ray. Wraparound layup is blown by Elijah Schmidt, and Tavon Sadler takes care of the rebound for Nicholls. Elijah Schmidt had 9 points and 8 rebounds against UNO on Saturday. Great game in a tough environment. Easy look for Schmidt, but he failed to make it, and that'll hurt Corpus Christi. Javon Powell's second 3 in the first 4 minutes. He drills it from the right wing. That's 8 points for Powell, and a 10-4 Colonel lead. 16 minutes to play in half number 1. Kareem South, left-handed dribble to the volleyball line. Chest pass sideline left. Hale wants a screen, but he gets trapped by Lyons. Eludes, passes baseline on a baseball pass, and that's a bad story for Ray. Turns into 2 defenders and gets swatted. Kimani Jackson and Tavon Sadler take it away, and now the Colonels can find Jackson left block. Jump stop and a give to Sadler. He wasn't ready, and it's knocked out of bounds by Corpus Christi. Colonels will have possession with 15:32 to play in the first half. Javon Powell, 8 points in the first 4.5 minutes. He scored 7 on Saturday. This is Colonel basketball. Contributions from everyone. An early 10-4 lead for Nicholls tonight. This is Colonel basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. Tonight marks the 24th home game in Richie Riley's short 2-year tenure as head coach with the Colonels. Nicholls leads at 10-4 tonight against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And with a win, in Southland Conference, game number 7 this season, and the 5th Southland Conference home game for the Colonels. Richie Riley would improve to 19-5 at home. He inherited an 8-23 team. What a season it's been for Nicholls this year, and they quickly find Powell for a right corner 3. He misses it on the inbound, but it's back tapped to midcourt. New possession for the Colonels. Shot clock resets to 30. Roddy Peters has a new big man in the game as legend Roberton just entered for the first time tonight. Powell, Sadler, Johnson, Peters, and Roberton for the Colonels. Clock's at 14. Kevin Johnson, a hesitation to the left, bounces it to Roberton, who drops it. Would have been a layup. 3rd turnover for the Colonels in the first 4.5 minutes. Coach Riley a little frustrated right now as he and the Colonel coach is shaking their head knowing that that would have been a dunk. And a tough turnover for Kevin Johnson. He leads the conference in assist-to-turnover ratio, but he'll get credit for the TO. Kareem South trapped at midcourt. Looked like he traveled. Great pressure by Powell, but South evades, passes, and gets Kilgore for a layup. Joseph Kilgore is fouled from behind, and he makes the shot. They'll count it. Islanders pulled to within 4. It's 10-6 Nicholls. Kareem South looked like he pulled the pivot foot, but instead of a turnover, the play was prolonged, and Joseph Kilgore has his 2nd field goal. Kilgore had an awful game in the Crescent City on Saturday. Top scorer for A&M Corpus Christi's averaging 17 a game, but he'll miss the free throw, and Nicholls takes care of the board. Peters pushes tempo to Powell, left corner. He gets by Dion Ray, but has his shot blocked out of bounds. Dion Ray tried to contest. Powell was able to activate the engine and drive along the baseline, but Dion Ray showing you the 6'7", 225 frame that makes this freshman a scary threat in the Southland Conference. And now he'll get to play with his brother for a little bit. Elijah Schmidt will leave for Corpus Christi. Dion Ray is number 13. Sean Ray, number 15 for the Islanders. They trail by 4. Peters on the inbound left corner. Jersey untucked with the black tights underneath for Peters. Bounce to the left block. Sadler, quick pass deep right corner with the clock at 9. Colonels will reevaluate. Johnson to Powell. Shot clock's at 4. Screen by Roberton. Now to Peters at 2. Powell, desperation shot is up and long. Forget it. Wouldn't have counted. Shot clock violation on the Colonels. Turnover number 4. It's been a stop-and-start effort for the first 4+ minutes, and if not for 2 threes by Javon Powell, would be an ugly first 5+ minutes for the Colonels, but they do have a 10-6 lead even with the turnover issues. Miles Smith checking in at point guard for Corpus Christi. He'll pass to the left wing where Ray wanted to take a 3, but he travels first. Dion Ray did not attempt a 3-pointer in his first 2 games with Corpus Christi. Had a shoulder issue that forced him to miss 13 games in a row to open his freshman season with A&M Corpus Christi. Islanders are without Ehab Amin, preseason All-American, preseason first-team All-Southland. He suffered a shoulder injury in September. He's eligible to come back next year. We'll see if it happens. Ehab has a lot of professional opportunities waiting for him. Against the zone, Colonels drive, pass, find Johnson, who drills a left wing 3. 3rd 3 in the first 6 minutes for Nicholls. Kevin Johnson and Javon Powell have combined for all 13 points for the Colonels. 13-6 Nicholls. 1-2-2 full court pressure for the Colonels. Dion Ray, left lane, breaks the press, slips the handoff, but it's through the legs of Perry Francois. Turnover, A&M Corpus Christi. Islanders have played 14 different guys in 5 Southland Conference games. They need everybody with the Colonels shooting the lights out in the first 6 minutes. Rutledge alone for a right corner 3. He drills it. 16-6 Nicholls. Miles Smith felt the trap, waited for 2 defenders, pulled the defense, and gets a foul on the sideline before Nicholls can come and take away possession. 13-14 to play in half number 1. It's a 16-6 lead for the Colonels. Sean Ray, Dion Ray, Joseph Kilgore, Miles Smith, Perry Francois, the 5 on the floor for A&M Corpus Christi. Dion Ray, inbound free throw line extended to the left. Illegal screen set by Perry Francois. Turnover on A&M Corpus Christi. 16 points for the Colonels from 3 players that are averaging 26 points per game. Roddy Peters has scored almost 100 points in the last 4 games. He's yet to take a shot. Tavon Sadler is averaging 17 a night. Hasn't taken a shot. This is a picture-perfect start for the Colonels. A 10-point lead 7 minutes in, and your best players have yet to get going. Sadler at the left lane, kicks out. Rutledge all alone. Automatic! 19-6 Nicholls. 5 early threes. Rutledge is the top 3-point shooter in the Southland Conference, and he was all alone. 19-6, 7 minutes into the game. Ray to Kilgore in the right arc. Johnson extends the pressure. Sean Ray tried to set the screen. Kilgore was able to shake middle. Now kick out to Dion Ray. Left corner jumper. It's home, and it's the first 3 of his career. Dion Ray, 6 points, 3 blocks, 1 steal in 21 minutes at UNO. 19-9 Nicholls. 2-3 zone for Corpus Christi. They played it a little bit in the second half against UNO. Peters, left lane drive, a handoff to the right block for an and one layup. Tavon Sadler, a tough take and a nice finish. 21-9 Nicholls. Tavon Sadler continues to be Mr. Consistency for the Colonels. 2nd in the Southland Conference in free throw makes. 6th in the conference in scoring, 10th in rebounding. He's 7th in steals. He's 7th in free throw percentage. He's 11th in field goal percentage. First team all-conference season is well on its way for Tavon Sadler. And his first field goal tonight has Nicholls on top by 12. Tavon has put together a 17.9 rebound game and a 19.9 rebound game in his last 2 performances for the Colonels, and he'll make the first free throw attempt of the night for the Colonels, and now a 13-point advantage for Nicholls. Sadler will get a brief break. He heads for the bench. Kimani Jackson is in for Nicholls. 22-9 Colonels. Corpus Christi scored only 64 points in this building last year in a loss to Nicholls. 9 points in the first 8 for the Islanders tonight. Sean Ray, post up right, short corner, and he travels. The defense of Kimani Jackson, what a difference it makes. Took away the baseline, so Ray tried to hit that hole hard, head middle, and then spin baseline. Didn't work out the way he intended for it. 12 minutes to play in the first half. Peters, Jackson, Powell, Roberton, and Rutledge in the game for the Colonels. Peters, a spin and a pass sideline right. Skip back to the left wing. Now Peters at the free throw line, turns over Kilgore and runs him over. Offensive foul on Roddy Peters. Media timeout with 11:47 to play in half number 1, and the Colonels lighting up the scoreboard in the first 8+ minutes. Nicholls has hit 8 of their first 11 shots. They are 5 for 6 on threes, and after their second worst 3-point shooting game in their last 10 performances, a 6 for 23 effort against UCA on Saturday. What a bounce back for Nicholls tonight. Javon Powell has a couple threes. Kevin Johnson has 1. And don't forget about Lafayette Rutledge. He is 2 for 2 on threes. Colonels lead it 22-9 on ESPN Radio New Orleans. Battle of the boards. You heard Austin Clonch in the pregame scouting report, second-year assistant coach for the Colonels. He said it was going to be a war in the interior. Whoever came away with the most rebounds was going to win this game. Colonels have a 22-9 lead against A&M Corpus Christi And they have 8 of the first 11 rebounds tonight, and the Colonels are 8 for 11 from the floor. Corpus Christi turns it over on the inbound. Dion Ray tried to get a little ISO game in the left corner. Too many dribbles, and he lost his pivot foot. Colonels turned it over 4 times in the first 4 minutes, but now it's A&M Corpus Christi. They're having some issues with TOs. Colonel possession, sideline left with Roddy Peters. Draws a triple team. He finds Roberton, who's hacked on the hands. Free throws for legend Roberton off a great no-look from Roddy Peters. Suck the defense in and then earn that double and triple team based on a reputation that is deserved for Roddy Peters. Almost 100 points in his last 4 games, and it feels like every field goal is in the paint. Legend Roberton misses free throw attempt number 1. And after an 8 for 11 start on free throws this season, Roberton now 3 for his last 10. But he'll make the second. Legend Roberton scoreless in the last 2 games, but he's on the board. 23-9 Nicholls. Dion Ray will depart for A&M Corpus Christi. Kareem South is back in. Trey Gray in for the first time tonight for Corpus Christi. Elijah Schmidt, Sean Ray, and Joseph Kilgore also in the game for the Islanders. They lost by 32 at home to Sam Houston State before having a second-half lead against UNO on Saturday. They ended up losing by 6. Trey Ray, open, left wing 3. Gray misses it. Rebound tipped out to the free throw line. Kareem South, offensive board, and he finds Ray underneath. Foul on the Colonels will lead to free throws for Elijah Schmidt. Elijah Schmidt and Sean Ray both battling for the boards, but it's Schmidt who gets 2 free throws as the Colonels now have a decision to make with Raji Lyons. 2 fouls on the freshman. One dribble and a high release for Schmidt. He makes free throw attempt number 1, 23-10 Colonels. If Dion Ray and Sean Ray can produce, Elijah Schmidt may be the biggest benefactor. He's 6'8", 195, but he's been playing the 5 for A&M Corpus Christi. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block per game. 63% free throw shooter, goes 2 for 2 from the line. He makes the second, 23-11 Nicholls. Peters a crossover, and an alley-oop. Kimani Jackson wasn't ready for it. Turnover Nicholls. Roddy Peters getting wherever he wants on the floor, and Kimani thought it was a layup for Roddy Peters. Did not jump on the oop. Turnover is a problem for both teams in the first 9 minutes of the game. 6 for the Colonels, 6 for the Islanders. It's a 12-point lead for Nicholls. Kareem South, second year starting at point guard for the Islanders. Heads deep into the left corner. Now back to the three-point line, Elijah Schmidt. Skips it right corner, clock at 13. Kilgore and Peters. Kilgore heads baseline, high dribble, wraps it to the left wing. Trey Gray bounces it left short corner, but it's stolen by Powell. Then he steps out of bounds. A turnover followed by a turnover. That sums up the first half. Javon Powell has 2 steals in the first 9 minutes. He's number 21 in the country in steals. Easily leads the Southland Conference in steals. Averages just under 3 per game. Kareem South, wing to the left on the inbound. Has the elbow sleeve on his right arm. Wing entry left block. Ray drops it, but it was last touched by Lafayette Rutledge. It's out of bounds off the Colonels. Shot clock rests at 21. Sean Ray has been an active component in the offense for A&M Corpus Christi. And after watching Rashawn Thomas tear up the Southland for the last 3 years, it's easy to see how Willis Wilson can project Ray to be that next Rashawn Thomas, or at least be in the mold of Rashawn Thomas. Rashawn Thomas now playing in the G League with Oklahoma City's G League affiliate. 13 points, 7 rebounds a game in 25 minutes a night for Rashawn Thomas. He will be in the NBA at some point this season or next season. Shot clock's at 9. Ray posts up left block, 2 dribbles middle. Baseline pump fake, layup. Kimani Jackson just got taken to the torture chamber. 23-13 Colonels, but a wide assortment of moves in the interior for Corpus Christi's freshman. His first field goal of the night has the Islanders within 10. Boog Sadler, top of the key pass to Rutledge. Pull up left wing 3. It's long. Elijah Schmidt, left block rebound for the Islanders. Rutledge made the first 2 3-point attempts of the night. Finally a miss for the top 3-point shooter in the Southland. Kareem South has 4 options, all occupying the interior. No spacing. Easy midcourt steal for Rutledge. Breaks in. He's pushed from behind and fouled. Free throws for Lafayette Rutledge. A compact, cozy offensive sequence for A&M Corpus Christi. You had 8 bodies in the paint. 4 Islanders, 4 Colonels. And when Kareem South tried to make that pass, Lafayette Rutledge felt like he had the entire court covered. 2 free throws for Rutledge. Lafayette's been in the game for 4 minutes. And he has 6 points, but he'll miss the first free throw. Lafayette was over 80% at the line last season. Hasn't taken a lot of free throws this year. He's down to 66% this season. A big night for Lafayette. This is the 20th game of his senior season. He only played in 19 games last year after suffering the broken foot in December of 2016. 57 made threes last year, 59 this season, but he misses both free throws. Corpus Christi and Elijah Schmidt take care of the board, and the Islanders have the ball down by 10. Miles Brown to the right arc. Schmidt whips it to the left corner. Deep 3 missed by South, and Rutledge has a right block rebound for the Colonels. Time to run, says Richie Riley. Outlet left wing to Javon Powell. Back to Rutledge for a trail straightaway 3. In and out, but back tap by Kimani Jackson. New shot clock, Nicholls. Sadler double teamed at the free throw line. Back up to Powell at the right arc. And Coach Riley saying, relax, let's run our half-court offense. Stop forcing it. Sadler and Jackson from the wing to the top of the key. Sadler slips out of his foot, so the Colonels go to the weak side. They try to get a strong side entry to Jackson, but the pass is stolen away by Elijah Schmidt. Corpus Christi forces turnover number 7. Schmidt, high post, quick kick right corner. Kilgore, an entry to the right block, double team on Ray. Finally has it stripped and stolen. Kevin Johnson picking pockets in the first few minutes of this game. Javon Powell's open, quick left wing 3 is home. It's all about JP. Javon Powell, Tallahassee, Florida, 11 points, 2 steals, 3 threes. Colonels lead it 26-13. Brown, a give from the left corner to the left block, but Jackson sticks his hand in there, steals the ball, and the Colonels come away with it. Kevin Johnson, transition pull-up from 16 feet is long. Kimani Jackson out-muscles 4 Islanders for the rebound, and he's fouled. Kimani Jackson had Elijah Schmidt, Kareem South, Dion Ray, and Miles Brown all surrounding him. Did not matter. The former 4-star recruit out of Arlington, Texas. He'll have free throws when we return to Thibodaux. 32 degrees, campus is closed, school is shut down tomorrow, but with snow in the forecast, Colonel basketball, it is all you need to know about in South Louisiana tonight. Colonels 5-1 in the Southland, and they've got a 26-13 lead over A&M Corpus Christi with 7:55 to play in the first half. This is Nicholls basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. The Javon Powell takeover has arrived. Colonels have a 26-13 lead against A&M Corpus Christi. JP has struggled in Southland Conference play to find his shot, to put together an offensive resume and repertoire that is reminiscent of his 13-point-per-game, 6-assist performance in Southland Conference play last year. But he's been a complete player this season, leads the conference in steals, top 10 in assists. scored 13 points in the conference opener against Northwestern State. Then scored 5 against Incarnate Word, 3 against SFA, 2 against HBU, 10 against McNeese, 7 against UCA. 11 points in 10 minutes for Javon Powell tonight. Kamani Jackson misses free throw attempt number 1, but he knocks down the second. 27-13 Nicholls, 14-point advantage, 7:55 to play in the first half. Roddy Peters, Javon Powell, Legend Roberton, Tavon Sadler, and Kevin Johnson for the Colonels. Full court pressure for Miles Smith and A&M Corpus Christi. Point guard for the Islanders, trapped in the backcourt, has 2 seconds to cross, and he will by locating Sean Ray. He passes to the left lane for a floater that falls by Kareem South. Kareem had 15 points in the second half against UNO on Saturday. He has 5 tonight, 27-15 Nicholls. Peters at the point, swings it sideline right to Johnson. Open offense. Colonels get it back to Sadler at the free throw line. Bounce to the right corner. Pump fake by Powell. Now to Sadler. Chest pass deep left short corner to Peters. The unselfishness is on display on this possession for the Colonels. They're still looking for a shot. Powell, right corner at 5. Baseline drive. Loses the ball. It's stolen by Miles Brown. Corpus Christi will run. They find South. He's fouled from behind. 2 free throws for Kareem South. And Coach Riley letting Javon Powell know that you've got 11 points. You got to shoot that ball. We don't need a pump fake with the clock at 4. Already 3 threes for Javon Powell. And now the Colonels will send one of the greatest secret weapons in the Southland Conference into the game. Kareem South misses the free throw. And Javon Powell will exit as Stevie Repahowski enters. Stevie has hit 9 threes in 5 Southland Conference games, and he's played just over 50 minutes. NBA games, 48 minutes. You get 9 threes every 48 minutes, or even 9 in that 45-minute to 50-minute window. Incredible stat. When Repahowski has played, he's put up numbers. Second free throw's in for South. It's 27-16 Nicholls, but at midcourt, Roddy Peters will get called for an offensive foul. He was approaching the half-court set. Colonels tried to set a screen. Push-off on the pass. And that's 2 fouls on Roddy Peters, and Roddy has to exit. Javon Powell went, grabbed a cup of Gatorade, had a towel tossed to him by Quentin Neese, the Colonel trainer, wiped his brow, and then heard the whistle, saw Roddy Peters exiting, and before Javon could even take a seat on the bench, he's back in the game. Stevie Repahowski is guarding the A&M Corpus Christi point guard. Kyle Brown with Repahowski on him. They've got Kareem South also in the game, 2-guard front for A&M Corpus Christi. Pass goes to Kilgore, left sideline, steps back, 18-foot jumper is pure, and Joseph Kilgore has 3 early jumpers. Islanders trail by 9, 27-18 Nicholls. Sadler, trail left wing 3, spots and hits. Tavon Sadler, and the Colonels have a 30-18 lead. Sadler up to 7 points for the Colonels. And a travel is called against A&M Corpus Christi. Turning and walking at the free throw line was Sean Ray. How about Tavon Sadler? He made 12 three-pointers in 61 games with UNC Greensboro. He's made 12 in 20 games with the Colonels. Nicholls on top by 12. Sadler looked from the left wing to the top of the key, but an off-ball hold goes against A&M Corpus Christi. 6 fouls on the Islanders, and we will have free throws for the duration of the half for Nicholls. Coach Claunch yelling out the baseline inbound call from the Colonel sideline. Every Colonel assistant is assigned a game to scout, and it's 100% their job to prepare for these baseline and sideline inbounds. Inbound top of the key to Roberton. Sadler takes the handoff, cups the dribble left, passes to Powell, quick left wing 3. He misses it. Roberton went after the rebound, but he pushes off. Offensive foul on the Colonels, loose ball foul on the Colonels, and that means free throws for A&M Corpus Christi. Javon Powell halfway home on what would have been his 4th three of the first half. Nicholls made 5 of their first 6 three-pointers in this game. They're 7 for 11 on the night after a 6 for 23 performance against Central Arkansas in a win. Great response by the Colonels tonight. They're on top by 12 as the free throw is missed by Ray, and Sadler has the rebound for Nicholls. Sean Ray misses the free throw. That allows Sadler to push. He hands it off to Roberton. Wraparound layup short. Went after his own offensive rebound, and he's fouled in the scrum. Legend Roberton will get free throws for Nicholls. Even though Tavon Sadler doesn't pick up an assist on this pass, he and Roddy Peters do a better job than anybody else on this court of drawing the weak side defender, bringing that help side defender off another man and trying to stop the layup or floater that Peters and Sadler are always ready to shoot. But off the missed free throw by Roberton, Corpus Christi can't secure possession. They look for a mid-post pass. Brown gives it away to Repahowski, and that sets up Javon Powell for a quick free throw line jumper. A steal and an assist from Repahowski. 32-18. Nicholls on top by 14 points. Baseline drive, Ray pumps, shoots, and has a shot stuffed by Legend Roberton. He's top 10 in the conference in blocks. Colonels can run. They find Powell, who's all alone for a left wing three. It's off right, and Elijah Schmidt takes care of the rebound for Corpus. 14-point Colonel lead. Hesitation move to the right. Brown loses the ball in the interior, but has it kicked out of bounds by Legend Roberton. Shot clock rests at 22 for A&M Corpus Christi. Kimani Jackson and Lafayette Rutledge re-enter for the Colonels. Roberton and Repahowski exit. And Willis Wilson wants to have a quick conversation with his team before they prepare for another possession against this suffocating defense for Nicholls. Timeout, Willis Wilson. Colonels have a 32-18 advantage. And if I would have told you even a month ago that coaches would be viewing this Nicholls defense as an elite member of Southland Conference's defenses, that we would ever use the term suffocating to describe the Colonels' defense, it's all right. You can admit it. Nobody would believe those words to be true. Colonels were allowing more points per game than any Division I team in the country in the first 3 weeks of non-conference play. But Nicholls has shortened their rotation. They're only playing 8 or 9 guys a night. They do have Daniel Regis back in the fold. He'll be able to offer some complimentary minutes here and there for the next 2 months of the season. But the Colonels are top 3 in the Southland in defensive field goal percentage and points per game allowed. It's a new team. 5 minutes to play in half number 1, 14-point lead for the Colonels. Ray has the pass zipped to him on the right block. He's fouled and scores over Kimani Jackson. A right block pump fake. And Sean Ray, his second and one field goal in the first half. 32-20. 12-point advantage for the Colonels, but Sean Ray starting to find his way. He's averaging 10 points and 5 rebounds per game, but those numbers are up to 13 and 7 in Southland Conference play. Second time tonight, he's missed the free throw following the foul on the and one. And with Sadler coming up with the rebound, Elijah Schmidt can't resist the foul. Tavon Sadler hit by Schmidt. That'll lead to free throws for the Colonels' senior small forward. 2 fouls on Schmidt, and with 4:46 to play in the first half, more difficult decisions for Willis Wilson. 2 fouls on Kilgore, 2 on Schmidt. Those are 2 of your top players. Kilgore's your top scorer. Tavon Sadler makes attempt number 1. Soft touch. 2 little bounces on the rim, but it falls through for Sadler. 9 points in the first half for Tavon. And David Bloom will enter for Corpus Christi as Elijah Schmidt leaves. That'll put Sean Ray at the 5 for A&M. And Sadler, a 2-for-2 trip to the free throw line. He's in double figures with 10, 34-20. Colonels on top by 14. Miles Smith to Kilgore at the point. Clock's already under 15 for Corpus Christi. Bloom gets caught in the corner and dribbles the ball out of bounds. Turnover, David Bloom. Played a career-high 15 minutes against UNO on Saturday, but he turns it over on his first possession of the night. Sadler, Kevin Johnson, Kimani Jackson, Javon Powell, and Lafayette Rutledge are in for the Colonels. Final 4:20 in half number 1. Nicholls is up by 14. High handoff between Jackson and Johnson. Kevin picks up his dribble deep in the right wing. Reverse to the left corner on 2 passes to Sadler. Zips it to the left lane. Jackson won't take the jumper. Out to the right corner for a Johnson 3. Kevin misses it long. Left block rebound for Dion Shea and Corpus Christi. Islanders at midcourt with Kilgore. Loses a dribble, passes to the left corner, and he gets it back left short corner. Faces on Powell, steps back, shoots the jumper, and misses it long, and a great box out and board by Kamani Jackson. Colonels come up with it. 3:47 to play in the first half. Sadler at the left arc, screened by Jackson. Ray fights over the top, so the pass goes wing left for a 3 that's off left by Rutledge. Rebound by Sean Ray and Corpus Christi. Couple empty trips for the Colonels, but they'll try to force another stop. Sean Ray, deep right corner jumper is an air ball over Sadler. Rebounded by Powell, 2-on-3. Powell won't stop, reaches the rim. He's fouled from behind, and a face plant into the floor for Powell. He pays the price, but he'll hop up, head to the free throw line. 2 free throws for Javon Powell when we return to Thibodaux. Colonels have a 14-point advantage. They trailed for the first 30-plus minutes in Saturday's win against UCA. Different story tonight. Colonels make 5 of their first 6 threes. They've hit 7 of 14 in the game. Corpus Christi shooting 37% from the floor, and Nicholls off to a 14-point first-half lead. This is Nicholls basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. It's rare that you can miss 8 of your last 11 shots and actually add to your lead. Colonels have a 34-20 advantage, even though they are 3 for their last 11 from the floor. Colonels still shooting 50% in the game. That's how hot they were in the first 10 minutes. But Corpus Christi ice cold tonight, and Javon Powell will connect on his first free throw attempt for Nicholls. It's now a 35-20 lead for the Colonels. JP up to 12 first half points. Make it 13. 2 for 2 for Powell. 16-point advantage for Nicholls. It's a 36-20 game. 3:10 to play in the first half. Corpus Christi is young. They've got 12 freshmen and sophomores, and they turn it over at midcourt. Miles Smith was looking for David Bloom on the sideline. Bloom became the invisible man, and Smith's pass, it just didn't have a target in mind. Ended up near the training table on the Colonel's bench. Nicholls takes over with 3:05 to play in the first half. Rutledge, Repahowski, Sadler, Powell, and Kamani Jackson for Nicholls. Repahowski hit a couple of threes on Saturday against UCA. Passes right wing to the right block. Double team on Jackson. Passes out of the paint to Rutledge, and now with the clock at 14, Powell wing left. Screened by Jackson, who slips. Pass goes left corner to Sadler. He's doubled. Clock at 7. Cross-court feed. What a find. Repahowski 3. It's banked long and tipped out of bounds off of Nicholls. I have no idea how Repahowski was even able to hit the window on a corner 3, but the ball cut through the air and almost kissed its way home. First shot attempt of the 9 is a little long for Repahowski, and the Colonels are under 50%. For the first time since the opening minute of the game, under 50% overall shooting. 2:40 to play in the first half. Colonels with a 16-point advantage. They won 68-64 against a 24-win Corpus Christi team a year ago. That was a big home win, and the Colonels started 2-0 in Southland Conference play. Miles Smith takes a screen, and he does the rest. A high floater from 8 feet. First field goal of the night for the shifty point guard makes it 36-22 Colonels, but now Tavon Sadler fortunate to still have possession. He took the inbound and Tried to race up the floor, got caught in the half-court set. Kilgore strips it out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Colonels. 2:13 to play in half number 1. 14-point advantage for the Colonels. Rutledge wing right, Powell wing left. And with Sadler calling for a screen by Kamani Jackson, KJ gets held. Free throws for the Colonels. Off-ball hold on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Miles Smith picks up the foul, and that'll be another trip to the line for Javon Powell, and he is guaranteed 2 free throws, double bonus for the final 2 minutes. Javon misses free throw attempt number 1. He made 37 straight free throws last January and February. 3 for 4 tonight, 1 for 2 on this trip as he makes the second. 14 first half points for Powell, 37-22 Nicholls. Dion Ray will give deep to the left corner. Bloom backs away from Sadler, cautious dribbling. Now to Miles Smith, sideline right, bounces it right, short corner to Bloom. Jump pass, left corner for 3 by Kilgore, and he connects. Joseph Kilgore's second left wing 3. It's 37-25 Nicholls. 10 first half points for Kilgore. Scores 17 a game for Corpus Christi. 90 seconds to play in the first half. Sadler, left angle pass to the left corner. 3 by Rutledge, and he drills it. Hand in his face, doesn't matter. Lafayette Rutledge, 3 first half threes. 40-25 Colonels. Lafayette hit back-to-back threes in the second half on Saturday to turn an 8-point deficit into a 2-point game. Colonels never looked back, pulled away, and ended up beating UCA by 7. Kilgore posts up on the right wing against Javon Powell between his legs. One more time on the crossover. Now a step back wing jumper is long. Left block rebound, Tavon Sadler. Colonels push to Powell. Left wing crossover by Bloom to Repahowski, who wasn't ready, and it's off his fingertips for a Colonel turnover. Poor pass, and there wasn't a lot Repahowski could do with it. 55 seconds to play in the first half. Colonels have a 15-point lead. We'll see Miles Smith, Dion Ray, Sean Ray, Joseph Kilgore, and David Bloom in the game for A&M Corpus Christi. Miles Smith started a lot of games early in the season for Corpus. He'll pass right corner to Kilgore, who sweeps across the paint. He's bumped at the hip. Foul on the floor, but it'll lead to free throws for the Islanders. Javon Powell picks up his first foul. And for a team that has been one of the worst all season in fouls per game, so far so good for the Colonels. Still 20-plus minutes to play, but only a couple guys with 2 fouls. Everybody in the game has 1 or none. Kilgore makes free throw attempt number 1, and it's a 40-26 game in favor of the Colonels. Joseph Kilgore, 2 for 2. 12 first half points for Kilgore. He was playing 9 minutes a game as a freshman, 19 as a sophomore. Then he starts all 36 games last year, averages 11 points, 4 rebounds per game for a 24-win team. Senior season, he never leaves the floor. He plays over 30 minutes per game. He averages 17 a night, and a big first half for Kilgore. Colonels have a 13-point lead, but Richie Riley will call a quick 30-second timeout. He'll consult with his team and prepare for the final 41 seconds. Even though there's a lot that you could critique if you're Coach Riley, and all great coaches can find plenty of problems, even in a perfect game, you have to be thrilled with the way your team has responded on a Tuesday night with a campus shutdown. All of South Louisiana is closed. We've got some snowflakes flying outside, but a real cozy night for Colonel Hoops inside Stouffer Gymnasium. Decent crowd. Students won't be back until next week, but plenty of locals still on site for tonight's matchup. 50% from the floor, 50% on threes. Colonels trailed for about 30 seconds in the first couple minutes of the game, but they have had a lead in a double-digit lead throughout much of half number 1. Final possession of the first half for Nicholls. Corpus should get one more opportunity to score. Rutledge takes it on the left arc with the clock at 20. Now fakes, gets it back for a right wing 3, pulls and misses. Left short corner rebound for Corpus Christi. Colin Hale pushes it to midcourt. Now to Ray, who walks, and the easiest travel call of the night for the officials. Sean Ray, couple travels in half number one. Turnovers mounting for Corpus Christi. 14 first half turnovers for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. It's what the Colonels do best. They force 18 a game, that's 7th in Division I. Now Nicholls will look for one more field goal. 7 seconds to play in the first half. Powell changes directions middle, passes to the left block for a layup that falls as time expires. Tavon Sadler, a take and make to finish up a 15-point first half lead. Tavon with a dozen, Javon Powell with 14, and a large lead that expanded in the final seconds of half number one. A lot to love from the Colonels as they'll look for Southland Conference win number 6. They're 5-1 in the SLC this season, and they have a 42-27 lead against Texas A&M Corpus Christi at halftime. We'll check in with our Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional Halftime Show. Wanted to relive our conversation with Stevie Repahowski, a senior who just sums up the success of this Colonel program in 2017-2018. We'll hear from Stevie Repahowski one more time. He's our feature halftime interview this evening. Colonels lead it 42-27 against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This is Colonel basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. It's a 42-27 halftime lead for Nicholls. 8 of the Colonels' 13 field goals in the first half were threes. You go 6 for 23 on threes in Saturday's win against UCA, and then make 5 of your first 6 threes in the follow-up performance. Final home game for 11 long days for the Colonels. This is our halfway point for home games in the Southland Conference. You only get 9 of these. Colonels well on their way to a 5-for-5 start in Southland Conference home games. We'll have 20 more minutes on the clock, and we'll see if Corpus Christi can find some support scoring for Joseph Kilgore. Joseph Kilgore, phenomenal first half. He was 2 for 10 on Saturday at UNO. Has had 3 really rough games for Corpus this season in conference play. Now he scored at least 22 in 3 of 5 Southland games, but when you look at the UNO, Northwestern State, and Lamar box scores, he was 11 for 42 in those 3 games. He went 14 of 27 from the floor, scored 45 points against Sam Houston and UCA, but that's been really it. When you look at what Kilgore has been able to do this season from a complementary scoring standpoint, he just hasn't had anybody. So Joseph Kilgore has gone from being the number 3 guy behind Ehab Amin, behind Rashawn Thomas. Now he is the number 1 scorer for Corpus Christi. Sean Ray's going to be pretty good. Dion Ray's going to be pretty good for this Islander program. But if you don't have any additional scoring from your guards, we saw Kareem South score 15 in the second half against UNO. Got off to a nice start early in this game, but the three-pointer and additional opportunities that he had to contribute more than just 3 points in the first half, they never really materialized. So you've got 12 points from Kilgore, and nobody else has topped 5 points. Sean Ray has 5 points, 4 rebounds, but 4 turnovers. Corpus turns it over 14 times in the first half. Nicholls gets 14 points from Javon Powell, 12 from Tavon Sadler, 9 from Lafayette Rutledge, and they make 8 of 17 threes. Colonels on top 42-27 against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Second half from Stouffer Gymnasium on the campus of Nicholls State University. It's up next on ESPN Radio New Orleans. We're ready to roll. Half number 2 from Stouffer Gym. Colonels pick up an 86-79 win against UCA on Saturday. They went on the road and beat HBU before coming home and taking care of UCA, beating McNeese. There was a special post-game moment on Saturday. The belief for this Colonel program that they can be an elite team, it's growing. You're seeing a team that was assembled mainly for this year find chemistry and put together those building blocks for a successful run in March. But until Nicholls was able to rattle off 5 conference wins in their first 6 SLC games, there really wasn't a trademark stretch in non-conference play that would justify the belief that this could be a special season. Plenty of moments and stretches and media timeouts, little 4-minute runs in between media timeouts that showed you the Colonels could be good. But until they won 5 of their first 6 in the Southland, you just weren't sure. Colonels came home after beating UCA on Saturday, and Javon Powell was the first player to spot the McNeese and Southeastern score. Colonels beat McNeese by 5, and then McNeese goes to Hammond and beats Southeastern. First loss of the year in conference for Southeastern, and it gave the Colonels a share of first place in the Southland. Javon immediately sent out a group text to his teammates and said, here it is. Here's your proof. Believe. We're real. Let's keep winning. Second half is here. Colonels are up 15, and they will trap on the inbound. Elijah Schmidt over to the left corner for an open Kareem South three. It's short left. Elijah Schmidt, offensive rebound for A&M Corpus Christi. Back to the free throw line for a jumper that's missed by Miles Smith. Left block rebound. Kimani Jackson, and the Colonels have it. Kevin Johnson over to Javon Powell. Left wing to the left corner for a long three. It rattles home by Tavon Sadler. His second of the night. Colonels are up 18, and now Kevin Johnson steals it on the inbound. A give to Sadler. He's fouled at the free throw line by Miles Smith. And what a start to the first 38 seconds in the second half for Nicholls. 19:22 to play. An 18-point lead. It's already your largest advantage of the night. You hit a three, you get the ball, and the pass to Raji Lyons, batted out of bounds by Elijah Smith. Miles Smith is a new addition to the first five on the floor for Corpus Christi. He's got Kareem South, Joseph Kilgore, Sean Ray, and Elijah Smith in the game for Texas A&M CC. Colonels look to Raji Lyons in the left block. Didn't play a lot in the first half, picked up a couple early fouls. Double team comes, and he kicks out of the block. Clock's at 13, wing right for Kevin Johnson. Back to Lyons, top of the key to the left corner. Sadler spins baseline, gets by Kilgore, and then has his shot blocked out of bounds by Sean Ray. Shot clock is at 6. Sean Ray now 6 blocks in his last 5 games for the Islanders. Left baseline inbound from Kevin Johnson to the left arc. Javon Powell at 4, and before he can drive or dribble, he walks. Turnover, Javon Powell. Colonels had 11 in the first half, which wasn't a major concern because you forced 14 turnovers. Turnover number 1 in the second half for JP and Nicholls. But Corpus Christi immediately preparing for some full court pressure. Miles Smith started 4 games, the first 4 games of the season for Corpus Christi. He's come off the bench in the last 10. Let's start the second half at point guard. Ray, top of the key to the left arc where Miles Smith has it in front of his coach. Willis Wilson watching as Smith spins it to the top of the key. Clock at 8. It's sent to Kilgore, sideline right. Left-handed dribble, a baseball pass to the left block for a layup. Elijah Schmidt scores. What an assist by Joseph Kilgore. 45-29 Colonels. Kilgore with 12 points in the first half, but he is a playmaker across the board. High post feed, slipping it to the right block. Lyons finds Sadler, and he's fouled. Free throws for Tavon Sadler. Raji Lyons sees everything from the high post. He creates his own little tower, and his timing from the top of the key to the low post, he averages 2 assists per game, and they're all from 15, 20 feet away. The backdoor bounce pass at HBU that led to an and one bucket, and a phenomenal find to Tavon Sadler, who makes his first free throw attempt. It's 46-29 Nicholls, and Tavon has 16 points. He was 11 for 12 from the line against UCA on Saturday, but he'll miss the second free throw. Sean Ray with the rebound for A&M Corpus Christi. Colonels have a 17-point lead, 18-10 to play. Kilgore throws it to the mid-post, but Javon Powell is able to reach, rip it away, steal the ball, and he gets fouled. Javon Powell, a takeaway from an unsuspecting Sean Ray. And with Javon Powell wincing a little bit and taking his time before popping up from the sideline, Richie Riley will play the precautionary tale of a 17-point lead with a guard who just went down. He'll give Javon a quick minute or two to make sure that he's in good shape. Roddy Peters will enter. Powell will take a seat. It's Kimani Jackson, Roddy Peters, Kevin Johnson, Tavon Sadler, and Raji Lyons for the Colonels. Raji Lyons had 3 rebounds in 3 minutes to start the game. But then the whistles started to pick up. 2 fouls were called on Raji, and he only played 5 minutes in the first half. Raji ready to post up against Sean Ray as he occupies the left block, and the officials continue to consult about how much time should be on the shot clock. Kamani Jackson smiling on the sideline as he prepares to inbound the ball. 10 points, 8 rebounds per game on 63% shooting in conference play for Kamani Jackson. Have we even mentioned Kamani tonight before this moment? Colonels are getting so many contributions. Quiet night so far for Kamani. Colonels up 17. Free throw line drive for Peters. Hesitation pass to the left block, and Kamani Jackson flashes, catches, he's fouled. Kamani and company just getting together on the block. And Roddy Peters is so good at identifying scores at their strong suit in the paint. If you pass it to me, but I have to reach down or I have to shade over from where I'm comfortable and shoot out of rhythm, I may get credit for the missed shot, but that's a bad pass. That's not setting me up in my sweet spot. With Kamani Jackson making the first free throw, Colonels have an 18-point lead. With Roddy Peters, Kevin Johnson, and Javon Powell, they will learn what makes you tick, and they will put you in a position to score in an area of the court where you're most comfortable being. Kamani Jackson, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. He's made 3 straight free throws. He was just under 70% in non-conference, but he was at 60% in conference coming in. Colonels have a 48-29 lead. Kareem South trying to get something going for Corpus Christi. Miles Smith, left wing to the left corner. Dion Ray, spin cycle into the interior. It's taken away. Raji Lyons with the steal. Tavon Sadler pumps at the point, passes to Peters, but before his wing three, Tavon travels. Richie Riley giving a little bit of a tutorial to Tavon Sadler and letting him know, when you come down with that jump stop, I told you yesterday, can't push or pick up your pivot foot at that angle. Coach Riley, always coaching. Practice, in-game, shoot around. Got to get better every second, every day. Trap in midcourt. South in trouble. He throws it away. A gimme steal for Kevin Johnson. He finds Peters in the right lane. Back to a trailing Sadler who scores, and he's fouled. Tavon Sadler with the and one finish. Credit Roddy Peters for dishing on the dime. It's a 50-29 game. Colonels rolling tonight. 18 points for Tavon Sadler. You score 17 against McNeese. You come back and have another 17-point performance against UCA. With 17:08 to play, Tavon Sadler up to 19 points. He nails the free throw. It's a 51-29 lead for the Colonels. Corpus Christi had a second-half lead at UNO. They lost 61-55, but they are self-destructing tonight. A turnover on the inbound. Miles Smith tried to go cross-court to Joseph Kilgore. He sends it into the stands, and the celebration has started on the Colonel sideline. 51-29, all Nicholls tonight. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it courtside with 17:03 to play. But a lot of applauding and clapping for the Colonels as they converge on the huddle and prepare for this final 17-minute stretch. You wonder what kind of energy we could expect for the Colonels tonight on an evening where it's understandable if you're a little flat. You've had campus shut down. All government parish offices have been closed since 3 p.m. Snow flurries and ice expected. You knew the crowd wouldn't be as big as we've now grown accustomed to the last few games. Create your own energy. And Richie Riley has been saying this since the Villanova game, that we need to understand what we're here to do and what stage we're on. Doesn't matter if we're playing in the Wells Fargo Arena against the #1 team in the country, or if we're at home on a Tuesday night in January with 100 people in the stands. Create your own energy and execute. And for Nicholls, to get a 3 on the first possession of the second half from Tavon Sadler, and then to force a steal on the inbounds, it shows you where the concentration is at and where this team's focus is also at. Colonels have turned A&M Corpus Christi over 19 times, but that we are sitting here at halftime discussing 14 first-half turnovers and how incredible it was that Nicholls pulled off 14 TOs in the first half. They forced 5 in the first 2:57 of the second half. Colonel possession. Roddy Peters, a high point spin and a pass right corner. Kimani Jackson back to the top of the key. Raji Lyons, one dribble left, and Sean Ray reaches in and bats it out of bounds. Ray is able to poke it free towards the sideline, but the Colonels will still have 17 seconds on the shot clock. Tavon Sadler is in charge of the inbound. To midcourt where Roddy Peters gives a look towards the A&M Corpus Christi bench. Now calls for a screen by Lyons. 2 dribbles left, backs away, stop, start, drives middle, and he's fouled. Roddy Peters plays at his own speed, and only he knows what miles per hour that will be. Is it 100? Is it 1? He'll slow you down, then he'll speed you up, and then he's right by you. 2 free throws, Roddy Peters. The Southland Conference Player of the Week for the last week has his first point of the night. Free throw number 1 is in, and this shows you how complete of a game this has been for the Colonels. Roddy Peters averaging 24 points per game the last 4, makes both free throws. He has 2, and the Colonels are up by 24. With 16:30 to play. A pass from the right short corner where Ray passes out of the post. Kareem South, right corner cross. Now reverse to the left arc. Joseph Kilgore double teamed. A pass to Dion Ray, left corner 3. It's well short, barely hits the rim. Lions with a free throw line rebound. Now to midcourt, Roddy Peters. Crossover, gets by Hale to the rim, layup. Left-handed finish. Colin Hale didn't stand a chance. 55-29 Nicholls. Coach Riley clapping on the sideline, applauding his team's effort. 16 minutes to play. South, quick trigger left angle jumper. It's off right. Boog Sadler with the rebound. Scoops it up to Roddy Peters. Colonels are at midcourt, 3-on-4. Peters runs into a double team, has it taken away by Kilgore. Joseph Kilgore off and running, goes up for the dunk, but double pump, scores, and he's fouled. Tavon Sadler went to the rim for a rejection, and Kilgore knew exactly what Tavon was all about. Great hang time, and really impressive body balance by Kilgore. He's rewarded with a free throw. Second foul on Tavon Sadler. Kilgore is up to 14 points, but A&M Corpus Christi has a lot of work to do. With under 16 minutes to play, it's Nicholls 55, Texas A&M Corpus Christi 31. This is Colonel Basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. .46 to play from Thibodaux, Louisiana. All Colonels tonight. A 55-31 lead for Nicholls. They have been plus 50% from the floor from the jump. Score on your first possession that you didn't turn it over. Colonels had a couple quick early turnovers in this game. They had 11 first-half turnovers. But the shots have been falling since Javon Powell's three-pointer to open the game. Colonels are 9 for 18 on threes. 53% from the floor. Joseph Kilgore went into the media timeout with a layup plus a foul on Tavon Sadler. His free throw attempt, it's home, and he's got 15 points in the game. Almost half of the Islanders scoring courtesy of Joseph Kilgore, 4-year player for Willis Wilson, went to Decaney High School in Houston. 55-32 Nicholls. Roddy Peters is at midcourt, 2 dribbles to the wing right. Now a high post feed to Lyons. He locates Jackson in the right block, but Perry Francois and Joseph Kilgore take it away. Steal for the Islanders. 2 hard dribbles to the left, and Kilgore gets pushed at the hip, releases the shot and misses it, but 2 free throws for Joseph Kilgore. And if there is one way that you can turn a 20-plus point deficit into a competitive game, slow the game down against a team that wants to push pace and tempo, and then come up with fouls on the flip side. Back-to-back fouls in the act of shooting with Joseph Kilgore as the offensive playmaker on both possessions for A&M-CC. And Kilgore will make the free throw. It's 55-33 Nicholls. Kilgore's up to 16. 9 points as a sophomore. You get up to 11 points as a junior, up to 17 points per game as a senior. Gets better and better. Career year on three-pointers this season. Just under 40% on threes this year, and he'll make both free throws. 17 in the game for Kilgore, 55-34. Colonels have a 21-point lead, and now they'll deal with a 2-3 zone. Kareem South, Colin Hale are up top for this 2-3 look. Peters at the right lane, kicks low to the left short corner. Sadler, a great wraparound, and Raji Lyons will do the rest. He dunks it home, and it's a 57-34 lead for Nicholls. Quick, precise ball movement. Tavon Sadler on the assist, and Raji Lyons has his first field goal of the night. Colin Hale, a little overmatched in the first half. He'll find Francois for a 15-foot jumper. It's way long enough that Francois gets his own rebound, passes to the right short corner. Ray is doubled. Sean Ray throws it away. Steal at the free throw line for Peters. He'll do the rest. 1-on-2 into Francois. Great trail and a throwdown for Raji Lyons. He delivers the dunk. Nicholls has a 59-34 lead. Back-to-back jams for Lyons. Second straight game, he's had back-to-back dunks in the second half. Perry Francois, left corner pass to the high arc. Sean Ray gives it to the right wing where Kareem South misses a three. Off the front rim, and Tavon Sadler has the rebound for Nicholls. Colonels will find Kimani Jackson. He steps through two defenders, misses the layup, but Colin Hale can't corral it. It's out of bounds off of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Trey Gray is ready to re-enter for A&M-CC. Legend Roberton, his turn to get a little second half run for the Colonels. Raji Lyons will exit, but he's got a fan waiting for him. It's his head coach, Richie Riley, first person up off the bench to meet Raji Lyons. Colonels inbound underneath to Kimani Jackson, who's fouled by Perry Francois. And Corpus Christi must have hit the snooze button on their alarm. Nobody was ready for the inbound. Kimani Jackson just hung out under the hoop. Francois had his back turned. Sean Ray had his back turned. Islanders thinking about their 8 a.m. flight out of Louis Armstrong Airport tomorrow morning. Kimani Jackson short on free throw attempt number 1. Kimani, 3 for 5 from the line. He made 3 straight to end the second half. 3 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block. Kimani complimenting what is now a 26-point lead. He makes the second free throw, 60-34. Nicholls on top, and they're still trapping at midcourt. Kilgore has to head backwards to get out of it. Already 10 seconds off the clock, and you're just getting your half-court set started. Powell, now a steal, takes it away at midcourt, and Kimani Jackson does the rest. Lays it home with the right hand for his first field goal. Powell with the steal and the assist, 62-34 Nicholls. Sean Ray tries to respond. He's fouled in the right short corner. Roberton could not keep his hands to himself. Baseline inbound for A&M-CC. Javon Powell was named our MVP in Saturday's win against UCA, and he only scored 7 points in the game, but he locked up the conference's leading scorer. Another great game tonight for Powell as Kimani Jackson blocks Hale's 3 on the inbound. It stays with Corpus Christi, but the clock's at 9. Ray baseline into Roberton, and he makes the shot, and he's fouled. Sean Ray overpowering legend Roberton. The third and 1 field goal of the night for the true freshman from Prosper, Texas. 62-36. Colonels with a 26-point lead, but Roberton has 3 fouls. And we'll see if Sean Ray can make a free throw. He's missed the and 1 free throw on his 2 previous attempts. But he'll take care of business on his first 3-point attempt in half number 2, first 3-point play attempt. Free throws home to make it 62-37 Nicholls. 8 points in the game for Sean Ray. Colonels will take this opportunity to slow down their half-court set, call for a half-court give and pass to Powell for a right corner three, but it kicks off the heel of the rim. He misses long to the left. Ray with the rebound for the Islanders. And Texas A&M Corpus Christi has it with 12:44 to play. Kilgore and Powell sizing each other up at midcourt. Kilgore gets some separation. Powell recovers. Now Kilgore spins to the free throw line. His 15-footer is long. It's tipped out towards midcourt, and Kilgore gets it back. Credit Elijah Schmidt on the back tap, and now he gets the ball on the left block and scores with the left hand. He pumped on Kimani Jackson, who didn't buy it. Both players stayed grounded, but credit Schmidt. He still had the ability to jump up and score. 62-39. Colonel's lead stands at 23. Javon Powell, sideline left. Locates Jackson at the right arc. Now Lafayette Rutledge, wing right. Screen set by Jackson. Corpus Christi forces the Colonels to flare out. Now the clock's at 5. Powell heads left. Difficult floater is long off the backboard. Rebounded at the free throw line by Trey Gray in Corpus Christi. Kilgore catch, shoot. Left angle 18-footer is an air ball. Colin Hale locates it for Corpus Christi. And they've got 18 seconds on the shot clock with Trey Gray catching at the left wing and drawing a hand check on Roddy Peters. Media timeout with 11:39 to play in the game. Joseph Kilgore getting hot for Corpus Christi. He's got 17 points in the game, but it's still a 23-point advantage for Nicholls. Tavon Sadler with 19, Javon Powell with 14. The Southland Conference Player of the Week, Roddy Peters, has 4 points but 4 assists. And Nicholls is just finding a lot of support scoring tonight as they look for their 5th straight home win to open Southland Conference play. Colonels lead it by 23, 11:39 to play. This is Colonel Basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. For the 10th time this season, Nicholls has forced at least 20 turnovers in a game. 21 for Corpus Christi tonight. Colonels have a 62-39 lead against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But a little over-aggressive is Tavon Sadler on the inbound. He gets called for a foul before the inbound was even administered by Colin Hale. Back-to-back fouls on Sadler. He now has 3 in the game. There are 351 Division I basketball teams, and Nicholls is 7th in the country at forcing turnovers. 18 per game. They've already forced 21 in conference tonight. Kilgore, difficult, contorting right-angle jumper is off the back rim. Misses it from 13 feet, and Roddy Peters has the rebound for Nicholls. Peters chest pass left corner. Johnson cuts to the hoop and somehow makes the layup. Elevate and detonate, the Kevin Johnson specialty. Just hang and hit. Don't worry about dunks. Finds a way to finish again. 64-39 Nicholls. Powell lurking as he almost came up with a steal. He pokes the ball out of bounds on the left sideline. Crept up from behind Sean Ray. Ray didn't even see Javon Powell. And something happened on the inbound for Powell. He's flexing his finger, but he just pointed towards Coach Riley. I'm not sure Coach Riley saw him. Looks like Javon's trying to get out of the game for a second. We'll see how this possession plays out. Clock's at 9. Hale bounces it left block. One turn middle. Now a baseline cut for Ray, but he's called for a push-off. Offensive foul on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. With 10:50 to play in the game, Sean Ray has 7 turnovers in 27 minutes. Not the career-high performance you want for the talented freshman. He's been a really nice score for Corpus Christi tonight. 8 points, 7 rebounds, but now 7 turnovers. Boog Sadler, a handoff left lane to Powell. Gives it back to Sadler. 17-footer rattles home from the left lane. Another mid-range jumper. It's the Tavon Sadler specialty. He's 7 for 9 from the floor, and the Colonels have a 66-39 lead. Nicholls beat Northwestern State by 41 in the conference opener. Up 27 tonight. Trey Gray out of control. Throws the ball off the backboard. He loses it long and can't come up with the loose ball. Had it in his hands. Drops it out of bounds. Colonels get the ball back with 10:16 to play. 27-point advantage, and Roddy Peters, Tavon Sadler, Raji Lyons, Kevin Johnson, and Javon Powell in the game. Kilgore, Sean Ray, Colin Hale, Elijah Schmidt, and Trey Gray for A&M Corpus Christi. Peters, left lane screen set by Raji Lyons. Now he'll rescreen, try to get the ball back. It's tipped, staved, and Lyons misses the layup. Kevin Johnson came up for an athletic rebound, but he chops at the hands of Sean Ray, and KJ will pick up the foul. Now it's a 27-point lead for Nicholls, but with 10 minutes to play, Corpus Christi is in the bonus. Colin Hale will exit for A&M Corpus Christi. Dion Ray is in for Corpus Christi. 1-1 for Elijah Schmidt. He's a 63% free throw shooter for the Islanders. He made 2 of 2 in the first half. Elijah Schmidt cannot make the 1-1. Free throw line rebound, Kevin Johnson. Colonels have it, 9:55 to play. An 8-day layoff awaiting the Colonels after tonight. Peters, free throw line pass, gets congested, tipped in, it still ends up with Sadler, who spins and scores. When it's all good, everything works. 68-39. Colonels on top by 29. 23 points for Tavon Sadler, a new Southland Conference season high. Kilgore sideline right, felt the trap, gets out of it and finds Schmidt at the high post, but his pass to the right lane taken away by Javon Powell. Cross court right sideline to Johnson, leans in for a layup, makes it, and he's fouled. 70-39 Nicholls, 9 points for Kevin Johnson, and Javon Powell will have his body tended to. Not sure what is ailing Javon the most, but he has earned a trip to the end of the bench. Javon Powell kind of flexing out his index finger and looking at his lower leg. Shouldn't be anything to concern yourself if you're mom and dad and you're watching our video stream online tonight. But when you have played as well as Javon Powell has this evening, put your body on the line from the opening play. Free throw will fall for Kevin Johnson. He's got 10 points, and it's Kevin Johnson, Raji Lyons, Lafayette Rutledge, Roddy Peters, and Kamani Jackson for the Colonels, 71-39 Nicholls. Kilgore, left dog to the left corner. Gray pumps, heads baseline, and hangs and hits on a difficult baseline blast above the rim with a right-handed touch. 71-41 Nicholls. First field goal tonight for another freshman in this 2018 roster for A&M Corpus Christi. Roddy Peters bulldozes his way to the block, misses one shot, but he won't miss the second. With 4 Islanders surrounding him in the paint, it's the Colonel point guard who comes up with a putback. 73-41 Nicholls. 6 points for Peters. He scored at least 21 in 4 straight. Kilgore, high dribble to the middle. He runs over Kamani Jackson, who takes the charge. This is your former 4-star, top 100 recruit taking a charge with a 32-point lead. This team has bought in. And Richie Riley, Austin Klontz, John Akins, Amaro Morgan, Tyler Parker, this whole staff has to be thrilled with how their vision is taking shape. Now it's fragile. It's sports. You're only as good as your next game. And with a tough trip to Beaumont awaiting the Colonels, you go at Lamar on January 24th. Southeastern comes to town on the 27th. The defending conference champs will host you right in the middle of Mardi Gras weekend. Lamar, Southeastern, UNO, then at ACU. Tough stretch coming up for the Colonels, but they are well on their way to a 6-1 start in Southland Conference play. With 8:15 to play, Colonels up 32. Roddy Peters, he's at midcourt in the middle of the in logo. Pick set by Lyons. Between his legs now a crossover, but a carry is called on Peters. Turnover Nicholls. A lot of good memories on this hardwood this light tan, red, and gray court that has hosted Colonel basketball for over a decade plus. But we will have a brand new court to show off on the 27th when the Colonels host Southeastern. Another out-of-control possession for A&M Corpus Christi. They fail to convert with a 32-point deficit, and that sets up Kevin Johnson for a left arc three. Misses it off the back rim. Good rebound by Sean Ray and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Willis Wilson looking for some life from his young squad. Dion Ray has it in the right corner. 2 dribbles middle. Lefty almost walked. Now he shoots and gets stuffed by Kamani Jackson. It's knocked out of bounds off of the Colonels. Media timeout with 7:29 to play. Willis Wilson has won a lot of games in his career. He won over 200 at Rice. Inherited a terrible A&M Corpus Christi team. 20 wins 3 years ago. 25 wins 2 years ago. 24 wins last season. But Corpus Christi going through some growing pains in their first year without Rashawn Thomas. Ehab Amin's injury, it's lingered over this entire season for Corpus. And the Colonels, too much firepower tonight. Nicholls with a 73-41 lead. This is Colonel basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. In 2014, Tavon Sadler was the Southern Conference Freshman of the Year for UNC Greensboro, with Nicholls leading 73-41 against A&M Corpus Christi tonight. Sadler, 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Islanders will inbound to Kilgore at the high point. Great move to the left, and he banks it home. A beautiful spin, and with Kamani Jackson insisting on the foul, Kilgore gets an and-one opportunity. Kilgore up to 19 in the game, 73-43 Nicholls, and will stop the clock with 7:23 to play. The snow has arrived in Lafourche and Terrebonne Parish. 8:42 on January 16th, 2018, and we have our first snowfall of the 2018 calendar year. Free throw is good for Kilgore. 29-point lead. We're playing indoors. We're not outside if you're listening to the radio broadcast. I don't know why you need a weather report. Repahowski travels on the right baseline, and now Nicholls turns it over. Colonels had 11 turnovers in the first half. They have 6 in the second half. Easy to dismiss those turnover numbers when you force 24. Kilgore at the left arc. Kamani Jackson still guarding him. Kamani has 4 inches on Kilgore, but gives up about 20 pounds. Smith wing left to the left corner. Kareem South breaks down Kevin Johnson and scores it on the freshman. 5 straight for A&M Corpus Christi. First field goal of the second half for Kareem South. He has 5 in the game. 73-46 Nicholls. Kevin Johnson at midcourt bounces it left wing to Raji Lyons. Now give to Jackson. Left block turn for a baby hook. He pushes it long. Kilgore with the rebound for A&M Corpus Christi. Joseph Kilgore. A hit pass to Gray. Spots up left wing 3 in and out. Repahowski fighting for the rebound, and he emerges with it. Colonels will outlet it left corner to Rutledge. He loses the ball. It's a turnover for Nicholls, and we're about to see 5 new Colonels in the game. Richie Riley, displeased with his team's effort over the last minute. Everybody get out. Quick 30-second TO for Coach Riley. And with a 27-point lead for the Colonels. It reminds you of any great coach that has a blowout late in the game and has some bad possessions, has a lack of focus. Not to say that Coach wanted to see this, but a great opportunity to remind his team what this season is all about. And it's not winning one game and winning the next. It's 40 minutes of focus. Difficult to do when you have this large of a lead. But 3 straight poor possessions and a lack of defensive attention, it leads to a timeout. Colonels will regroup, and they'll actually allow Kimani Jackson, Roddy Peters, Kevin Johnson, Lafayette Rutledge, and Stevie Repahowski to stay in the game. Looked like Coach Riley was ready to clean house and make a couple changes, but he wants to give these 5 an opportunity to redeem themselves. Kareem South scored on the last possession for Corpus. Passes to Dion Ray in the right corner, now to Kilgore at the point. Clock's at 15. Miles Smith at the left corner, Trey Gray. He breaks down Repahowski, sweeps across the lane, floats it long off the back rim, and Kimani Jackson just boxed out his point guard. Told Roddy Peters to get out the way, that's my rebound. Colonel possession, 5:54 to play. Roddy tucks the ball underneath his right arm. Trey Gray tries to apply some pressure. And with Kimani Jackson setting an illegal screen, it's another empty possession for the Colonels. Turnover Nicholls with 5:45 to play. Trey Gray will have the inbound for Corpus. As Coach Riley walks up and down the sideline wondering, do we have 1,000 turnovers? What are we up to? It's 15. Still not as many as you would like. But you can feel Coach Riley's pain. They have started to add up in the second half. Miles Smith went baseline for Corpus, had a good look in the lane. He misses his shot, but it's knocked out of bounds off of Nicholls. 73-46. Colonels up by 27, 5:32 to play. Corpus with a left baseline inbound and 17 on the shot clock. Miles Smith waiting, finally inbounds. Gets it to Kilgore, left corner. Now reverse to the right corner for a 3 that's off right by Dion Ray. Athletic offensive rebound by Miles Smith, and a new shot clock for Corpus. South, right lane, heads middle, spins, floats, and leaves the shot short. He gets his own rebound, draws the foul on Kimani Jackson, and Kareem South scores it. This is the 5th and 1 opportunity tonight for Corpus. 73-48 Nicholls, 5:18 to play. Kimani Jackson picks up his 4th foul. Kimani will exit, and the Colonels will send Raji Lyons back in the game. Kareem South averaged 9 points per game as a freshman. He's at 9 points per game this season. He has 7 tonight as he misses the second free throw, misses the N1 free throw. Peters with the board. He locates Rutledge for a cash money corner 3. Lafayette Rutledge, 3 threes in back-to-back games for the Colonels, 76-48 Nicholls. But the Colonels have a hard time keeping pace with this Corpus Christi offense. Foul was called on the sideline against Nicholls, but after some consulting between the officials, they'll overrule it. Offensive foul goes against Joseph Kilgore, and he's got 4 in the game. 5 minutes to play, 76-48 Nicholls. What a night for Rutledge. He's up to 12 points, and now a backdoor feed, and what a find for Kevin Johnson. A one-hand dart. Roddy Peters spins and scores at 8 points for Peters. Colonels are back up by 30. Kareem South reaching on Kevin Johnson, and he'll foul at the free throw line. Double bonus for the Islanders with 4:43 to play in a 78-48 game. For tonight, for at least one night, Nicholls State University will stand alone atop the Southland Conference. Colonels will have a half-game lead over UNO before everybody else in the conference plays tomorrow night. Kareem South will make free throw attempt number 1. He's up to 8 points in the game, 78-49 Nicholls. Kareem South, 2 for 2 at the line. Colonels 4:43 away from a 6-1 start in SLC play. Peters heads up the floor, dodges 2 defenders, scores, and he's fouled. A left-handed spin to put the Colonels up by 30. Roddy Peters in double figures with 10 points after taking his time offensively through the first 20-plus minutes in this game. Did not score in the first half. Southland Conference Player of the Week makes it 80-50 Nicholls. Roddy Peters makes the free throw, and it's a 31-point lead as we get a little Zach Young in our lives. Zach Young enters, Peters exits. Coach Riley brings Roddy to his side as a quick word with Peters. And with Nicholls on top by 31, only 4:30 separating the Colonels from a 6-1 SLC start. Dion Ray, a pump from the right baseline, heads into two defenders, and he runs over Repahowski. Offensive foul on A&M Corpus Christi. With 4:25 to play, it's Lafayette Rutledge, Kevin Johnson, Raji Lyons, Stevie Repahowski, and Zach Young, the fifth player on the floor for the Colonels, the senior from Wellington, New Zealand, by way of Impact Academy in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's got the ball sideline right against Gray. Young heads middle, now gets it over to Raji Lyons, right short corner. Back to Zach Young, wing screen set, clock at 10. Zach Young to Rutledge. Dribble to the left wing at 7. Back to Johnson at the high point. Quick crossover into the paint. Floats it from 7 feet and swishes it. Kevin Johnson, double figures in 3 of his last 4 home games. 83-50 Nicholls. And A&M Corpus Christi maintaining possession with 3:42 to play. They ran into Lafayette Rutledge on the baseline, lost the ball out of bounds. Corpus will keep it. 3:42 on the clock, final media timeout. It's a 33-point Colonel lead. The only question now, can Nicholls top their 41-point victory, their 41-point margin of victory that they had against Northwestern State? Not important. The victory is. Colonel's happy to be up by 33 at home with 3:42 to play. This is Nicholls basketball on ESPN Radio New Orleans. .342 to play from Thibodeau, 83-50. Colonels have a 33-point lead behind 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from Tavon Sadler. But support, scoring, and complimentary play across the board tonight. 15-point halftime lead. Then you hit a 3 on your first possession of the second half and force back-to-back steals. It's been that kind of night for Corpus, but Trey Gray is fouled on the inbound. Freshman from Oakland, California. He'll get a couple free throws. 12 freshmen and sophomores on this roster for Corpus Christi. You get 27 points per game from 6 different freshmen. It's an open house look this season for Willis Wilson and Corpus Christi as they try to replace Rashawn Thomas, Jake Coker, Cole Martinez, and Ehab Amin. And Gray will miss his first free throw attempt. 18 free throw attempts on the year, but he came in 7 for 9 in his last 3 games. He misses them both, and Zach Graham Young has the rebound for Nicholls. Oh yeah, 33-point game. We're shouting out middle names on this broadcast. Zach Young, sideline left. Screen by Roberton. He's posting up. Now Kevin Johnson has it left wing and a touch to the left block. Roberton doubled and fouled. Free throws for legend Roberton. Hey, we have a blizzard brewing outside. Maybe stop fouling. It's a thought. We can keep playing. Whatever works. 3:21 to play. 4 fouls on Dion Ray. And with legend Roberton back to the free throw line, he can make the most of some extended minutes tonight. Only played 2 minutes in Saturday's win against UCA. And Roberton has back-to-back free throw makes. He's 8th in the conference in blocks. Had 6 points, 3 blocks in 9 minutes in the road win against HBU. And he goes 2 for 2 from the line. He's made 3 in a row after missing 8 of his previous 11. 85-50. Colonel's up by 35. Kilgore fires up a left wing 3, leaves it off right. Lafayette Rutledge Smallest player on the floor boxes out a couple Islanders and gets a right short corner rebound. Young, midcourt to the right. A couple hard dribbles to get past two Islander defenders. 3 minutes to play, 35-point lead. Robertson posts up middle, but Rutledge forces the pass, and it's stolen by Kareem South. To Kilgore left wing, a step-through left lane layup, and he finished it from the right side of the floor. Joseph Kilgore, he can play. 22 points, but the Islanders still trail 85-52. Zach Young gets past the double team, passes left corner. Repahowski hoists up a three, air ball, but Rutledge has the rebound. They'll reset the shot clock, so Repahowski getting just enough of the rim to add 30 more seconds onto the clock, and with 2:22 to play, it's good news for Coach Riley. Takes some more time off the clock. Free up Kevin Johnson for a left lane layup. Took the screen from Robertson and blasted off into the paint. 87-52 Nicholls, 14 points for Kevin Johnson. And he is quickly putting himself into contention for a first-team All-Southland freshman campaign. And his former high school teammate will get some run in the final 2:14. Rafe Blades is in for the Colonels. Kevin Johnson exits. Round of applause from the Thibodaux faithful tonight. Final couple possessions as legend Robertson gets called for a blocking foul on the right corner against David Bloom. Robertson standing straight up, but he must have lowered his hands a little bit. David Bloom has only taken 3 free throw attempts on the season, so he'll happily step to the line and get to attempt a couple more. Senior from Plano, Texas, from Prince of Peace Christian Academy, he'll make the free throw. Played a career-high 15 minutes against UNO. Has been with the program for 4 years. His first point of the night. It's 87-53 Nicholls, and Bloom goes 2 for 2. 87-54 Colonels. Final 2:05 to play. Zach Young, Rafe Blades, shoot it every time you touch the ball in the final 2 minutes, or just foul Zach Young, give him free throws. Kareem South and Miles Smith, they foul Zach Young. 2 free throws with 2 minutes to play. He's been at it a long time. 4 years of Colonel basketball. He saved this program in 2014-2015. Started the final 8 games of the year. Had the highest efficiency numbers on the team during those 8 games. Whatever J.P. Piper needed him to do, whatever Coach Riley has needed him to do, Zach Young has done it, and he'll make the free throw attempt. 88-54 Colonels. Zach Young on scholarship for the last couple of months of the year, his final semester at Nicholls. You know he still hasn't forgiven Richie Riley for the way that news was delivered to him in Seattle. The viral moment of the year for Colonel basketball. Zach Young makes both free throws, and it's 89-54. Colonel's up by 35. Elijah Schmidt, 17-foot left baseline jumper. He swishes it. Elijah Schmidt, not known for his perimeter shooting skills, but he has 8 points, and it's an 89-56 game. Colonel's up 33. Robertson and Rutledge, a high handoff for a left wing three. It's off left. Rutledge has already hit 4 threes, misses this one. Elijah Schmidt with a rebound for Corpus. Islanders, transition pull-up. Kareem South misses it from 17 feet. If the shot clock counted, he would have been able to get that bounce for a bucket, but the Colonels will take over possession as the shot bounced a little too high, hit off the shot clock. Colonels have it for the final 84 seconds. Zach Young in the 60th game of his Colonel career. He'll work it between Repahowski and Rutledge. Back to Rafe Blades. Rafe heads right and has it stripped. Stolen at midcourt by Trey Gray. Young trying to catch up, but he will foul Trey Gray with the Colonels up 33 and a minute to play. And Richie Riley is walking down his bench right now saying, I love it. I absolutely love it. Zach Young in a 33-point game went up for the steal, but they will say that it's a flagrant, and Trey Gray will now be the benefactor of some additional free throws. Looked like Zach Young was back in the picture and contested at the right point, but Trey Gray will be rewarded with some additional free throws here. Make the most of your opportunity on the floor, and when Zach Young is on the court, there will be no free layups. Trey Gray. After missing 2 earlier free throws, he'll hit the first. 89-57, Nicholls. Trey Gray, after playing a season-high 23 minutes at UNO. Quiet night tonight. He had 8 points in those 23 minutes. He'll make both free throws. 4 points tonight for Gray. He's played 20 minutes. But his Islanders dealing with a large deficit. Corpus about to fall to 4-12 on the year, 1-5 in the Southland. Schmidt misses a left lane jumper. Rafe Blades had the rebound, lost it, but it'll end up with the Colonels. Trey Gray tried to chase the ball down on the sideline, failed to secure possession, and now Young, Blades, Repahowski, Roberton, and Rutledge can end it for the Colonels. Let's see how long the final minute takes. 89-58, Nicholls, and a whistle. Repahowski will take care of the inbound. And Blades and Roberton are in the backcourt for the Colonels. Give Rafe Blades an oop. Let's see the Blades bounce. Inbound and a foul. Well, it's taken 5 minutes to play 1.3 seconds. Let's see what we can do for the final 58.7. 89-58 Colonels. They had a 42-27 lead at the half. Lafayette Rutledge missed a couple free throw attempts earlier in the game. He's connected on 4 threes. 2 dribbles, spins the ball, 1 more dribble. Lafayette Rutledge makes the free throw. 13 for Loff. Lafayette Rutledge and Javon Powell have attempted more three-pointers this season than Corpus Christi has as a team. Shows you where the Colonels are out in their deep sea threes, but it also gives you an idea how much Willis Wilson is struggling this year to find some scorers, some guys who can shoot it outside of Kilgore. Both free throws are in for Rutledge. It's 91-58 Nicholls, but then a whistle on the flip side and a T assessed to a couple players. We've got a technical maybe to Repahowski and maybe to Trey Gray. Final minute of this game, the extended version playing out. It's Stairway to Heaven with 52 seconds to play. 91-58 Nicholls. Tick, 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 tick. Corpus doesn't have to fly out till tomorrow. They're good. Corpus will make the drive to New Orleans tonight, where they have lived for the last few days. Trey Gray misses a free throw. Colonels have to take the bus to Corpus, but Corpus Christi making the most of their one trip to UNO and to Thibodaux this season. They'll head out at 8 in the morning, a flight back to South Texas. And with 52 seconds to play, things getting out of hand for the Colonels. Stevie Repahowski just got teed up again, and he's ejected. And I would love the explanation on this one. Stevie Repahowski picked up a double tee along with Trey Gray on the previous possession. And Stevie Repahowski, following the second free throw, ejected and sent to the locker room. His teammates in disbelief. The quietest kid on the roster. And in a dead ball situation, Stevie Repahowski gets kicked out of the game. Only good news for the Colonels, we get to see Daniel Regis on the floor. Daniel Regis, first time we've seen the transfer from Gillette Community College get some run for this Nicholls roster since late November. And both free throws are good for South. It's 91-61 Colonels, 11 points for Kareem South. 52.5 seconds to play. Inbound to Zach Young. Young, Rutledge, Regis, Roberton, Rafe Blades for the Colonels. And Zach Young pounding the rock at this point of the game, just dribbling at will. Clock's at 15, he's at midcourt. Zach Young waits for the screen from Roberton, drives, floats, misses the shot. It's tipped out to the right corner. Rafe Blades saves it. New shot clock for Nicholls, and they can dribble it out. Blades right corner, Rafe Blades throws it off the backboard, but it was tipped off the side of the hoop. The ball kicks out of bounds, and the Colonels will have 24 seconds to play with Richie Riley imploring his team, do not shoot it, dribble it out. Let's enjoy a 30-point win. Young inbound to midcourt. Rafe Blades holds it. And Lafayette Rutledge saying, give it to me, guys. Let's finish this thing up in style. We're up 30, 15 seconds to play. A 6-1 start in the Southland Conference awaiting the Colonels. And what a night for Tavon Sadler. Crowd starts to clap, and finally we hear the horn sound. A 91-61 win for Nicholls. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Tavon Sadler. And the Colonels pick up a 30-point blowout victory against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. 5-0 start at home this season for Nicholls. They're 6-1 in the Southland. An 8-day layoff before Lamar hosts the Colonels on January 24th. Well, it's been an extended version of this Tuesday night broadcast, so we'll just wrap the show up right now. We'll see you on the 24th. Can't wait for the Colonels to get back at it against Lamar. Lamar continues to be one of the best teams in the Southland Conference. They had a great non-conference. They beat Tulsa. They won their first couple games, but they lose a home game in double overtime to Central Arkansas. They have a couple losses in their first 5 Southland Conference games. Here we are, 7 games in, and Nicholls sits alone atop the Southland Conference. They are 6-1 in SLC play, 23-5-5 from Tavon Sadler tonight. Colonels shoot 50% from the floor. They make 5 of their first 6 threes. They are 12-8 on the season, 5-0 at home in the Southland Conference. An 8-day layoff before Lamar and Nicholls will ball it up on the 24th. That'll be a Wednesday night broadcast before we come back home to debut our new court on the 27th against Southeastern. Thanks to Todd battling through a stomach virus back at the ESPN New Orleans studios, to Jerry Gisclair and our whole team of ESPN New Orleans video broadcasters for giving you this free stream on YouTube and ESPN1003.com. Thanks again to everybody for contributing to another great broadcast and another great win for the Colonels. 91-61, Nicholls rolls, 12-8 on the year, 6-1 in the Southland Conference. First place alone at the top on January the 16th, 2018. Colonels in first place in the Southland Conference, and they roll to another victory tonight. We'll do it again next week, a nice little break before the game on the 24th. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again soon on your home for Nicholls State University Athletics, ESPN Radio New Orleans.